Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon or Rising. And Aquarius, it's the first reading I'm bringing to you for 2020 for the week of January 6th to the 12th. So Aquarius, your cards here that you have this week, you have the Initiation Oracle card, we have the Ace of Wands, King of Wands, Death Energy, Four of Wands, Ace of Swords, and the Magician. Really powerful energies, guys, and so similar to the Gemini reading. Actually, this is the third one I've sat down to do today, and I'm seeing a pattern, guys. I'm seeing a pattern. I'm seeing the pattern of final paths to walk out of 2019. You know, if any of you have been tuning into social media and seeing the posts that, you know, friends and family and people you follow have made about their decade and 2019 in particular, so many people are talking about the roller coaster they've been on and how hard things have been and the lessons they've experienced. It's been tough for everyone, guys, and so many of us are still tying up ends of that, you know, still kind of transitioning from difficult times. There was a really big surge of releasing, purging at the end of 2019. But what I'm seeing is a lot of aces coming in and a lot of stepping into personal power energy. So it's like, okay, there are some things to complete, but once we've done so, I feel like things are going to shift quite a lot. I'm really feeling that there is a different energy in 2020. It's only just starting. It's going to gather momentum. We have shifted into 5D consciousness. We are moving into the new earth time. This is the start of it. It's going to be much more positive for everyone, but we just need to get rid of the hangover of 2019, basically. So I'm excited. There's some beautiful cards here. Some of us are walking out of a darker time. Some of us still have a situation to complete, but all the energy is on your side, and the universe is saying, you know what, going to bring you some amazing stuff if you can do this. So Aquarius, I'm just going to kick off by reading out your oracle card. It's definitely strongly linked to the rest of the cards here. So the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. My gosh, don't we want to do that, guys? Some of the most sacred initiation chambers and temples look scary from the outside, but are breathtakingly beautiful on the inside. This represents the journey that the soul pilgrim is required to take to reach somewhere sacred. But only the initiated can enter. Perhaps that's where you are right now. You're being tested, initiated, because you are headed somewhere sacred. Initiations require that we cross the threshold from one world or state of being to the next. We are called to face what scares us and have to be willing to lose it all in order to gain a new way of being, of safety, of security, of depth, of meeting. Yeah, look, I really feel that so strongly in this reading here, Aquarius. You know, there is a lot to be gained, but, you know, there's something that needs to be allowed to pass first. And some of you may have been, you know, transitioning from a tower moment, definitely darker times, but, you know, the promise is somewhere far greater, somewhere sacred, whether that's an internal place or actually, you know, in your external world, which is obviously, you know, a reflection of your internal world anyway. And I'm going to start right here with this big, bold energy, death energy here. So, you know what, I really feel, I mean, this is past position, guys, so some of you may have already had something come to an ending, or you might be transitioning through a completion or ending at the moment, be that, you know, in a career or job, a relationship, something that happened over your holiday period, you know, a personal transition, an awakening, can be something like that. But death energy is really, it's saying it's out with the old and in with the new. It's saying that the past energy, the energy of 2019, can't be brought with you into this chapter. Why? Because it's just not a fit for you. It's not on an energetic frequency that aligns with what we're moving into. And when we do try and hang on to those energies, that's when things can get tumultuous. That's when the conflict can come in. That's when, you know, that Five of Swords or Wands can come in, or Tower moments. So we need to know when it's time to loosen the grip. You know, there's a time to reap. There's a time to sow. There's a time to pass. And there's nothing more certain in life than the cycle of death and rebirth. But we don't just get rebirth, rebirth, rebirth. We get death, rebirth, death, rebirth. And we have to be willing to allow things, when the time is right, to pass. When we hold on to things past their use by date, you know, things, energies can get stuck, things can get stagnant. Like, for example, in a relationship, that's when things can get argumentative. That's when we might meet that lover or that beautiful person that we know we really love to pursue, but we can't because we're in a situation. In work, it can be that's when things start getting political, or we have an altercation with a colleague. So we need to know when the time is right to walk away, and it's good to not leave it until we're forced to, until the tower falls. So the death energy, what's beautiful about it is it says that there's real transformation on offer through going through this process, because there is always a new beginning on the horizon. There's always a new dawn, a new day, ready to come in and to be that lantern that lights the way through, while you cross this threshold, as you start stepping towards the light and leaving these darker times. This flower here on this flag stands for alchemical transformation. So some of you might be going through a bit of a consciousness shift, a bit of evolution, maybe even a spiritual awakening. I know there's a lot of that energy going on at the end of last year. So the key with the death card is we need to embrace it and be comfortable in the discomfort of this energy. This adult here looks away from death because she knows that there can be pain associated with change, but we know that if we avoid pain, we don't get the change, we don't get to the good stuff, we don't get to the transformation, we don't get to these beautiful aces that are there to come in. Child looks straight in the eye because he doesn't know the pain, he hasn't been through this process before. So we need to be the child, and we just need to move in the flow of this energy, because there's not really any way to stop it. If we don't go with it, then we end up in a tower moment. It happens anyway. So the death energy, it wants to clear the slate for you, Aquarius, so that, there is energetic space and room for the new beginnings that you truly seek to come in for you. I'm going to go here next. We have the Lovers and the Magician. Guys, so, some of you will know that before the Lovers was associated with just, okay, it's a love card, it means your soulmate's going to come in. It was actually a card, the biggest card of decision making in the tarot. And the reason why it's called the Lovers is because it's decisions that are strongly, related to heartfelt matters, which often can be our relationships, can be our in work and career as well, because that can be the things that we're passionate about. So I feel that in order to bring in this death energy, there is a huge decision that needs to be taken, right? Could be to end a relationship, or it could be to, commit to a relationship and deepen it, because that could be your destiny to, get married and have a family with this person. It can be to transition your career. It could be to end a job and pursue what you're passionate about. These kind of decisions, right? Could be to relocate to a place that you feel aligned with in your heart, that makes your soul sing, that aligns with your desires. But the Magician energy says to me that you are the one with the power to change this, Aquarius. You are the master of your reality. You are your own magic man or magic woman. The Magician, is somebody who understands that they have the power to change their reality, and understands that they have all the tools at their disposal in order to do this. And by stepping into that power, that's when you realize your unlimited potential. And that potential is what you use to create something truly abundant for yourself, a truly abundant future. And the saying with the Magician is as above, so below. So for me, that means, as your internal world is, your external world will reflect that. So sometimes we need to work on our inner game, our inner thoughts, how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about others, our mental health even, because we are going to attract experiences to ourselves that match that are a vibrational match. So it's good to do the inner work as part of this process, so that you can, attract to yourself the circumstances that you truly desire. But ultimately, this combination for me links to that death card, and it's saying that, there is a strong ending that needs to happen here. There is a big heartfelt decision that is in the way of that ending. So you need to step into that Magician's power, and only you can do that. and it's your choice what you decide. You have the free will. You can decide either way, but each way obviously has a different outcome and a different consequence. But my gosh, past this, past that point, once that slate is clear, Aquarius, look at this energy. 2 aces, the 4 of Wands, and the King of Wands. I think I'm going to go here with the King of Wands next. I mean, the King of Wands is somebody who has a vision. He's an opportunist, he's entrepreneurial, he sees things unfolding, and he uses that insight in order to create his reality, to rule his empire. And, this is all about forward vision. There's no looking back for the King of Wands, and I feel that this is the energy that you're stepping into. Once you cross that threshold, once you make that decision and clear that slate, it's going to be all full steam ahead, full charge, and you're going to be strongly victorious in that as well. I'm going to pair the Ace of Swords with this because I feel that as soon as that door is closed on that old chapter and you're facing your true north, you're going to have that vision and clarity that you're going to require to make the next strategic moves for your life. And I think the pathway will become clear. And the Ace of Swords again has the indication of you stepping into personal power like the Magician. It's about re-crowning yourself in King energy. And King energy is mature, it's dominant when it needs to be, authoritarian. The King of Wands in particular is passionate and enthusiastic and fiery, and all the good elements of fire can be the bad if it gets out of control. It's about seeing the opportunities that are now presenting themselves to you and seizing them and taking the inspired action in order to have those grow and expand into the new future that you're bringing on for yourself. Because if you were in a stagnant situation or stuck in an experience or relationship or whatever it was for you that was past its use by date, that's when we can have our blinkers on, and that's when we can become stagnant, and that's when we don't see the opportunities that the universe is trying to present to us. Once that energy is gone, that's when you're going to be able to see with full clarity. So I love that. I really love that energy. And from there, I just feel like it just keeps on rolling. Keeps on rolling. So we have the Ace of Wands and the Four of Wands. So, I mean, this is strong, passionate new beginning energy here. I mean, if this doesn't say passionate new start, I'm not sure what is. The Ace of Wands can be, deepening your sense of spirituality, can be getting your invigoration and enthusiasm back for life, but it can also be a passionate new offer in love and romance. And we have that paired here with the Four of Wands. So it could be someone coming in that could be a soulmate that you might end up marrying and setting up a home with. For those of you already partnered, it could be deepening a commitment, beautiful anniversary, wedding anniversary, getting engaged, getting married, having a child, that kind of thing. But also the Four of Wands stands for stability. So some of you are moving into a time that is more stable, both physically and emotionally and mentally, especially after the tumultuous energies that were around in 2019. So, the Four of Wands, it is those 4 solid sides of that square, moving into a place that's more secure, becoming more grounded. And there is that element of the 11-11 formation with the Four of Wands. So there's an element of synchronicity or destiny about this card, and especially when paired with the Ace of Wands. So really be on the lookout for the signs, the symbols, the people you bump into randomly, because there could be, a seed of your next move, your next chapter in that. With the Ace of Wands, aces are pure potential, guys, so you need to take inspired action in order to grow and expand them. So like I said, if you do bump into that person and you find them really attractive or magnetic in either a love way, or it could even be for friendship or business partnership, actually talk to them, connect with them, because you might be surprised what comes out of that. We are being given the potential, the energy, the seed, but it's up to us to grow and expand it. But my gosh, the energy is here for you, Aquarius, and it is strong. And just like the other readings I've done this morning, the key to getting there is to complete what needs to be completed, to have the courage and strength to walk out of these dark times towards that light, even if it means leaving those behind that we still may love. Just because we have to step away from people and experiences that we hold love for does not make that wrong, and doesn't mean that we can't be there for those people in the future. It just means that we need to move in a different direction for now that suits our energy in a stronger sense, that's more in alignment with us. So Aquarius, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Do keep in mind it is a general reading, so it won't be for every one of you guys. I wish you all the best with it. Looks like really exciting energy to come. Feel free to leave me a comment, because I always love to know how it's playing out in your daily life. And I'll see you guys back here next week for another reading.